Florida's biggest agricultural disaster isn't a hurricane, drought, or wildfire. It's something far more relentless. The exploding population of wild boars tearing to the land like a living storm, with millions of feral hogs reproducing at an uncontrollable rate. The situation has evolved into a crisis threatening the very backbone of local farming communities. During the brutal dry season, when water is scarce and heat turns the earth into brittle dust, the boars grow more aggressive, bolder, and far more destructive. They raid fields in broad daylight, ravage crops overnight, and leave behind devastation that takes months, sometimes years, to repair. Refusing to let the locals lose everything they've worked for, our team returned once again to confront this unstoppable force of destruction, embarking on a mission that demanded precision, courage, and unbreakable focus. With all our weapons, gear, and tracking equipment packed and ready, we climbed into the Toyota Land Cruiser and drove straight into the sun-scorched grasslands of Florida, where giant plumes of heat shimmer across the horizon, dust spiral behind our tires, and cracked earth stretched in every direction. We reached a high ridge that offered a tactical vantage point over the hostile landscape, and through the scope, I spotted a herd of wild hogs weaving beneath the tall, dry grass, their movements fast, chaotic, and unpredictable. Taking a moving target at that distance required calm, instinct, and total control. I prepared to fire, but the herd suddenly shifted direction, spooked by something unseen, and charged uphill, directly into the ambush zone where Mike and Nick were positioned. They had the high ground, but the challenge remained immense. Bullet drop, wind, distance, timing, and pure pressure. The countdown began, 3-1, and the crack of the rifle split the dry morning air, dropping the lead hog instantly as the rest erupted in panic, scattering wildly and smashing through brush. It was a perfectly executed ambush, a critical move to slow the explosive population growth threatening the crops below. To prevent regrouping, our team spread across the hills like pieces on a battlefield, forming a tight encirclement. At Nick's position, every rustle felt like a threat until a massive dark figure burst through the brush. People underestimate wild hogs. They're not just brute force, but cunning, intelligent, adaptive opponents capable of outsmarting seasoned hunters. When the herd vanished into thick brush far beyond human sight lines, it was time for our four-legged special operations team to take the lead. The dogs launched forward, pushing hogs out of hiding with relentless precision until the monster appeared, a hulking boar charging out like a bull. The moment its weak point was exposed, I took the shot, dropping it cleanly and instantly under the strict regulations that guide every action we take. Hours passed as the hillside cleared. Traps closed, shots were fired, and the farmer's future grew a little safer. The blazing sun hammered down, yet we stayed alert, following GPS collars linked to the bright display of the iPhone 17, turning potential chaos into precise, coordinated strategy. When one dog pulled aside at my signal, I fired another perfect shot. "Things are getting rough," someone muttered, and they were right. The hogs fought back with fury. The story shifted when I returned to my homeland after years away, only to find my family's cassava fields torn apart as though a hurricane had ripped through them. Though the real culprit was a wild boar invasion, something hardened inside me, and at dawn the hunters of our village assembled with rifles loaded, radios checked, and dogs tense with anticipation. We formed a hidden trap along the hillside, and when the dogs were released, chaos erupted as a massive dominant male charged uphill, unaware that I held the perfect firing angle. One booming shot echoed to the valley, marking the return of order. More hogs were driven downhill into strategic escape routes where coordinated shots rained down, clearing the hillside. But seasoned boars began slipping through, moving with calculated caution. I tracked one patiently, fired, and delivered a flawless hit. By noon, the heat was brutal, sweat pouring down our backs while we stayed sharp. A separated hog appeared. My shot hit, but didn't finish it. So James delivered the final strike from below. As evening fell, a final boar thundered toward me through the foliage. The ground shook beneath his charge, but one steady shot ended the confrontation instantly. Boar hunting isn't simply shooting. It's a battle of wits, endurance, and survival played out across brush, slopes, forests, and unforgiving terrain. The next chapters unfolded across Anatolia Hill, where misty slopes, dense thickets, and deep forests became battleground of ambushes, escape routes, and precision shooting. Helicopters hovered above burnt grasslands. Ground teams waited behind reeds and thickets, and cornfield missions tested pure reflexes. By sunset, as the robins in our 44's blade slowed to silence, I reviewed the day's footage on my iPhone 16 Pro. Each moment proved that this land was safer and that farmers could sleep peacefully again. But a new crisis erupted when wild boars stormed the city, injuring civilians and spreading chaos. At dawn, we climbed rugged hills once more, firing warning shots, scanning every shadow, treating every movement as a threat. Each bullet wasn't just a takedown. It was protection, duty, and survival. And when the mission ended and the hills grew silent, peace returned, at least for now. Heat, heat, heat. The battle continues.